fun confession. I've had this computer for over a year and I'm just now using Photo Booth to record a video instead of this little bad boy. But it's no joking matter why I'm recording this video. I was out walking Bailey earlier and she's not well. Almost has a similar infection to what I had, and hopefully her urinalysis will come back on Monday with okay results, but a little concerned about her. And she's down there napping in the sun, which makes me very happy. Did a little Reiki on her earlier, and we'll be working on her to hopefully combat whatever's happening with her kidneys. But that's what happened to me. It all started on August 22nd. I had just come back from San Francisco, had a great trip for work, and woke up just feeling nauseous and had fever, chills, and what I thought was the start of a flu. And worked about the half of a day, 5 or 6 hours, went to bed, woke up Tuesday, I was worse. All over body aches, chills, headache, and definitely thought I had the flu. Wednesday, more the same. And the strange thing is there were periods where I felt good, you know. What I didn't realize was there was a deeper infection that had been happening inside of my bloodstream, and it started as a UTI. Went to the doctor. She didn't see anything wrong with me. All my vitals were fine, supposedly, at the moment that she took them, but I knew that something was off. The following day, I went to the doctor that Thursday, woke up Friday, felt pretty good, and about 5 or 6 o'clock that afternoon, my pulse and my heart started racing, and it was really scary. I thought I was actually having a panic attack. And anything that I did, all the breath work training that I've done, all of the energy work that I've done wouldn't do anything to help relieve my pulse, and I was really afraid. So I called my doctor's office, and they were like, take some Advil, get some rest. I was like, really? Call 911 if you need it. I felt so dismissed. So I called my friend Shauna and asked her to come by if she would walk Bailey, because I felt like I couldn't even get off the floor. I didn't want to get off the floor because this butterfly yoga pose was the only thing that was helping me to kind of stay centered. She showed up and I said, do I look okay to you? She said, yeah. I said, my pulse is just nuts right now. And she walked Bailey, and I thanked her. She's such a good friend. She's been such an amazing friend. And Shauna, if you're watching this, thank you so much for you. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for all of your help with Bailey over these past weeks. So anyway, went to bed again over the weekend, just periods of feeling great, not feeling great, and not. I think it was Monday, and I woke up, didn't feel like myself, so I decided to work from home, had a team meeting midday, and during the meeting I felt really awful. It was awful. Headache, pulse was still, heart was racing, and fever and chills. So I called my doctor's office, and they were able to get me in like an hour later. Fever of 102. Doctor decided to take blood, and which was my least favorite thing to do. Now, after everything that's happened, I'm like, take it. I used to have a fear of needles. They took blood, and they had hoped to get the blood work back within a couple of days. I actually had to call them 3 times to get the doctor to call me back with my results. She goes, your white cell count's a little high, but it's probably just a little bit of a tuberculosis, and just keep taking Advil and keep sleeping. And there was no follow-up requested. She just dismissed it as an sort of an infection. I couldn't believe it. So, short of getting a second opinion, I really had zero energy to deal with it any further, and decided to just call it an urban camping weekend and just camped out here. Things went from bad to worse on September 11th. And I don't want to go into too many details about it, but the last person that saw me before everything went really pear-shaped was Shauna. Thank God she knows me well enough to know that things were wrong. And she contacted my mom. And I later, around, I don't even know, because there are parts of what happened to me that I just don't remember. Blackout periods, and that's never happened to me before. I'm still struggling with trying to piece together everything that's happened to me, and it's frightening to think that there are periods of my life that I don't know anything about. Back to the story. I found myself at UCLA Harbor, and I was being seen by a nursing team, and the last thing I remember is they gave me a pill, no idea what it was. They took a urine sample, and that's the last thing I remember that day. Next thing I know, I wake up, I'm in the hospital, I'm in a bed, in a room with a bunch of people. And I'm just trying to take in, like, what's going on. I'm hooked up, I got IVs, I've got people taking vitals, and all these things happening to me. And the crazy part was, the things that I was thinking I wanted to say, I couldn't do. The stuff that was coming out of my mouth was not what I was wanting to say. It was like somebody had taken over my body. It's the best way for me to describe this experience for the next 9 days, almost 9 days. It was like being trapped inside my body, feeling what I wanted to feel, but somebody else was speaking for me. And it was incredibly frustrating. I couldn't even tell them that I wanted to talk to my mom. Couldn't do that. All I could do was just allow them to do what they were going to do with the vitals, giving me meds, asking me questions. I had 3 teams assigned to me. I had a psychiatry team, I had a neurology team, I had a medical team, I had nursing. And it was just this constant battery of questions all day by all 3 teams, minimally 3 times a day. It was probably more, but all I can remember is 3. All of them asking the same questions. My pulse was elevated still. I remember my fever was up and down. I don't know if I was eating or not. Like I said, there was a lot of periods of me just, maybe because I was protecting myself, I just checked out. And now I can't remember. My mom came, so this was the 12th. This was Monday, September 12th. My mom made it on Wednesday, and I was so relieved when she got there with my brother. And I still couldn't fully communicate what was happening inside of me, and this wanting to just tell her to get me out and to get me home. But come to find out, they ran so many blood tests and urine tests on me over the course of the 3 days that I was in the hospital. Day 3, they identified that I had an advanced near-fatal UTI. I had no idea. No idea. Thought it was the flu. And I knew it was more, but my doctor had convinced me just to, it's not a big deal. But in any case, thank God I got to the hospital. It was divine intervention that got me there. And I'm not going to share the story of how I got there because it's just really overwhelming for me to even think about it. And I may one day share it, but I just don't want to go back there because it was so horrific. So my mom in the background had been calling, like spent 2 days on the phone, urging them to continue to do blood work on me, that I was talking gibberish. The things that I was talking about was not me, and she was very concerned for my health. She was very concerned for my well-being. And I guess at one point the hospital was just going to release me and give me a bus pass and be like, see ya. If that had happened, I mean, who knows? I'd probably be dead right now, which those are really bold words. but it's the truth. And that hit me like a ton of bricks today when I was walking Bailey. Just the fact that I'm still here is such an incredible gift. I see life through a new lens because of this experience. I will never look at another human being the same because I felt so alone and I felt like I couldn't break out of my own body to help myself. It was, if I could describe how I felt, and I might cry because it's a really emotional thing for me, I was in my own personal hell, and I felt like I was going to be stuck in it for eternity. I really did. I really did. Friday the 15th or the 16th, I had a call for help because it came to this realization that this place that I was in, this personal hell that I was in, it had to stop. And I know that it was because of God reaching his hand out. And I knew he was there with me all the time. I just couldn't communicate to anybody what was happening for me. And they thought I had schizophrenia. I mean, I've never had mental illness. I've never had any sort of anything like that. And so for them to say that was just so offensive to me. But I couldn't communicate anything because the words that were coming out of my mouth were not from me. And it was because of the infection. It had changed my blood chemistry. It had changed the way that my brain processed information. It's really hard for me to talk about this. My mom's the only person that knows this full story, so it's really hard for me to go back there because it was just so incredibly horrible. And I don't want anybody to ever have to go through what I went through because it was the hardest thing I've ever been through. Hands down. I thought I was never coming back. And I would have rather died than have to go through another day of what I was doing. It was awful. Thank God. They gave me some medication overnight on that Friday, and it brought me back faintly. But I was able to start sharing, and a flip had been switched. A flip had been switched. I always say it wrong. The switch had been flipped, and I was just like, oh my God. It was like a miracle for me to be able to finally communicate me, not this thing that had possessed me, this toxin in my blood that had possessed me. So I sit here, a miracle, because I could have died. I could have been committed. I could have been in that horrible place for the rest of my life. And I'm just sitting here. It hit me today like, oh my God, I'm walking around. I'm not in there. I'm me. And it's changed everything. I mean, on every level. The way I look at life, the way I see life, the way I experience life now is just, I feel like God's given me a second chance, a new lease on life. And every day, I'm so appreciative of everything and everyone. And the interactions I have with people are just so beautiful now. I can't really put it into words. Just the connectedness that I now have to myself, first and foremost. I'm so healthy now. I feel like I'm in the best mental, emotional, spiritual, physical shape that I've ever been in. I need to wipe my nose. Forgive me. I'm not going to edit this out. This is just what it is. All this personal development work, all this coaching, it has led me to now. It has led me to the place that I am, and I know God had everything to do with it as well, and his guidance and the inner connection that I have to spirit. And you guys know I'm not religious. I'm I don't identify myself with any specific denomination or religion or anything like that. But God was there, and He's here, and He's in here like I've never felt before. And it's so beautiful. And the reason that I'm recording this story is because I know that I'm not the only person to have gone through this experience. People call it spiritual awakening, and that's what I was calling it when I was in the hospital, which led them to think that I was mentally ill, which is ridiculous. It's offensive, actually, to pinpoint, oh, just because I'm acting a certain way that I'm mentally ill. Because there's just so many brilliant souls walking this planet that are mentally ill that are actually not. They're spiritually aware and awakened, and we have so much that we could learn from them. I feel like I've been touched by God, and it sounds airy-fairy, and I don't care it sounds airy-fairy. It's the truth. It's my truth. And I honestly, I just have been so incredibly inspired to record this, and I've been toiling about this since I've been out the last 14 days, 16 days today actually, of do I want to do this? Do I want to go back there? And I left a bunch of the story out because it's just too painful, and I need to process it. It's going to take me some time to process it. I haven't even looked at my medical records yet because I'm just not ready to read everything and go back to that place. The whole point of me doing this is to share that if you resonate with any of this, you're not alone. And I would love to help other people come out and talk to their loved ones about what's happening to them, because people are here to help and support and love you through it. And it does get better. When you talk about it, it really does. And my breath work, my Reiki, my energy work, yoga, meditation, all of that has been such an integral part to my recovery. I wouldn't be sitting here feeling as good as I do without that, without the spiritual guidance, without the spiritual support, without the love, the endless, unconditional love that I've gotten from all of you guys. So, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough. All the messages that I got in the hospital, some of which I don't even remember typing. If they didn't make any sense, that's why, because I don't remember typing any of them. But I know a lot of you were scared. I was scared. But you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm good. I'm still in recovery. I probably always will be for the rest of my life. But the awesome part about where I am is each day is better than the day before. And so that's how I know I'm making progress. And my life will never be the way that it was before. Thank goodness. It's just, like I said before, my life is now seen through a new lens, and it's really good. I'm really thankful, really appreciative of what I've learned and what I'm continuing to learn each day. And I'm present. Mindfulness, oh yeah, it's front and center. I'm taking care of me first. That's self-care. It was there before, but not my focal point, and now it's my focal point, and it's changed everything. You know, little dog is hopefully going to be better. She's still asleep. She's my teacher. I have learned so much from her through this whole ordeal, and she's never left my side since I've been home. And we have this incredible bond now that we didn't have before. It's like this nonverbal sort of communication that we now have, and it's been a really beautiful gift, the relationship that she and I now have. And every day that I get with her is just another gift. So I'm going to wrap up now and just say that, you know, your health should be your focal point, your spiritual, mental, emotional, physical health. should be your focal point. And if it's not, you need to relook at your life, because without any of those, you got nothing. You got nothing. My life was nearly taken from me, and that, even saying that now, frightens me, but because I never thought that would ever happen to me. I thought I would die, 100 plus, not at 43. I'm now 44 because I've had a birthday in between all this stuff happening. And I don't feel 44. I feel 20. It's great. And I now know how to take care of myself so I can be there for other people and be a voice for other people, be an inspiration for other people. And I want to get this story out there. I would love to just get on a stage or get in front of a group or get in front of people one-on-one to talk about this, to start the conversation, because everyone can feel so good if they would just focus on those 4 areas: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. And it's easy to do. It's so simple. I had all of the tools to get there before. I just chose not to. Crazy. I made excuses why I couldn't. Fear got in the way every single time. Fear doesn't stand a chance in this girl's life anymore. Not a chance. So thank you for listening. It feels good to get this out there. It's just like I can exhale. It's finally out there. And if you feel inspired to reach out, want to have a conversation, want to share this video, I'm posting this publicly because I have nothing to hide about this story. I feel really, really proud to be able to sit here, make this video, and share the experience, the little tidbits. There's a lot more to it, but like I mentioned before, I'm not ready to reveal everything yet. I'm still processing it all, but the main core meat of the message is the resilience that we all have. The body's ability to heal, the mind and spirit's ability to heal is really miraculous and incredible. Thanks again. I love you guys, and take care.